Hello nation, and welcome back to the Homestead. Today's the day.
Today's the day.
The big reveal.
The big reveal.
The big release.
The big release.
The red carpet event.
The tire track event.
The tire track event. We made our decision.
We did.
Now, if you guys remember, we researched all these tractors based on a certain criteria.
Right.
Price.
Mm-hmm. Warranty.
Warranty.
Customer service.
Customer service.
Ease of use.
Ease of use.
Durability.
Durability.
And service
locations. All right, so let's talk about the price. The cheapest one, which I was surprised by this, believe it or not, was Coyote. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised by that because of all of the different things that were coming standard on the Coyote.
The features, right.
That on the other tractors, they like added the price, jacked the price up for it.
Right.
Okay, after the Coyote came the Mahindra, then the Kubota,
mm-hmm.
and then the obnoxious John Deere.
Right, and these were all for 45 horsepower tractors.
Right, and in all honesty, from the first three,
mm-hmm.
they were really only like $5,000 to $6,000 apart.
Right.
You jumped
quite
a lot of it when it came to the green tax. Now, warranty.
Mm-hmm. There was only two categories really with warranty.
Yeah.
One was where it was all by hours or years, whichever came first.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were two that did just by years.
Just by years. Now, the one who had the worst warranty right off the bat, I'm going to flip this around. The one who had the worst was Mahindra, because they nitpicked every little thing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we also had personal experience through Jay with his Mahindra, and happened to watch what he had to jump through to get them to honor that warranty.
Right.
Then the second to last was Kubota.
And really with that one, it was only because it was still by hours, not
mm-hmm.
by years.
And believe it or not, there was kind of a tie for the first place between Coyote and John Deere. But the salesman at the John Deere place let it be known that John Deere looks at everybody, what they're doing with warranty, they pick the best one and they mimic it.
Well, with everything.
Yeah.
And specifically with warranty,
except
they
for
looked
price.
at except for price. They looked at the warranty, and the best one on the market at the time right now is Coyote. So they mimic that one, but we all know the original is always better than
the mimic.
The copy.
All right, now we come to the customer service portion. Now, personally, I feel that this portion was probably the most important one out of them all.
Well, you even said it in the very first video that we did, that if everything was the same or even close to the same, that customer service would be what would sway your decision.
Right. Because at the end of the day, it's like what you said when we started visiting church.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody puts on a good Sunday face.
Oh yeah.
Let's see how they're doing on the rest of the days of the week to see if it's a church that we want to put our membership on. Tractors things really kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you first walk in the door, everybody's going to have on their church face.
Well, you would hope they would.
Yeah, you would hope they would. Mahindra, what's up with that? But
subsequent visits and things like that.
Yeah, once you purchase the vehicle, are they still going to be excited to see you?
Right.
So the worst one right off the bat with that little cookie that I just dropped was obviously Mahindra.
Yes.
Mahindra, I don't know how they stay in business with the level of customer service that they provide. Then was John Deere. John Deere really didn't knock my socks off. You would think, especially for how much they're charging for a tractor, you would think their customer service would be top notch.
You really do.
Yeah.
You really think that with what they're charging, that they would take some of that money and it not just be for marketing, that it would be for some training on how to handle your customers.
How to handle your customers. Then came in Kubota. Now, we didn't have face-to-face time with Kubota, but if you mirror it how they treated us over the phone, then, you know, they were pretty good. But top notch.
Absolutely.
Top notch was Jay and the folks over at Steck with the Coyote. That, I mean, out of everything that we've ever been gone out shopping for, they set the bar high. The customer service there was the best that I have seen in anything in a long time. And especially in this
post-COVID world that we're living in right now, customer service has kind of gone down the drain.
All right, so now we switch gears and we go to ease of use. Now, granted, this is one of those that you kind of learn things as you put more hours on the tractor, and pretty much at the end of the day, levers and buttons and stuff like that are all the same.
Right.
But where the difference comes into is the details, the smaller details. And the big thing ended up being, out of all things, was the gas tank location.
The fuel tank.
Oh,
We've been getting so much.
Yeah, y'all been correcting me because I've been saying gas tank. Y'all a little
on that.
But
the
hey,
fuel tank.
It's where the diesel fuel goes, and so that's what we're talking about.
The fuel tank.
The fuel tank.
Yes.
And, you know, the Coyote one was
the most accessible.
The most accessible, the one that was the easiest one to use.
Right.
You know, and then the Kubota was next.
But
you know,
still,
but it still had some issues with it being up there. You'd have to stretch to lean over, and then we learned later on, after we did that video, that they actually have some type of fan right there. So if you spill any fuel accidentally, then when that fan kicks on, it's just gonna spray it right back, you know. So, but the John Deere was ridiculous, and the Mahindra was just as bad. Now, obviously there's other things other than the gas tank, but it also gives Coyote the win because it comes standard on their tractors. Like we showed you the stuff from the John Deere with the push button thing and the knob. The Coyote has pretty much all of that same stuff. They don't have the push button to move it forward and backward, but I don't know if I really want that. But they have the lever to be able to move that 3-arm hitch up and down. They have the sway and they have the extension with it, and it going up and down. But that comes standard on the Coyote, where if you go with it with the John Deere, which by the way is the only other one that we seen that had that stuff back there for the PTO and your 3-point hitch, you're paying an extra $14,000. Our next category is durability. Now, one gentleman called me out in some of the tractor videos about this. Now, I didn't approve his comment because he used foul language. So if you're watching this video, don't use foul language and I'll approve your comment. But he made a very valid point. He said you're not going to really know the durability of these tractors until you put some hours on it. And he's absolutely correct. But I guess he missed the part where we said in the very first video that a lot of that is going to rely on feedback from reviews, people that we talk to that own these tractors and stuff like that, you know. So with the durability, with our research, the Kubota and the John Deere ran neck and neck. John Deere's been around for a long time. Again, like you pointed out in the one video, you don't get to be around a long time
if you sell crap and you sell it at a high price. Like you don't stay in business that way.
Yeah. So the John Deere ranks up there pretty high with the durability. Now the Kubota is ranked up there kind of high with durability also, but here's the asterisk part. Up till 86, Kubota was using Coyote motors.
Yes.
And so you kind of have to lean towards Coyote a little bit on this. The Mahindra, we went straight off of what we experienced with Jay.
And you put several hours.
I put a lot of hours on that tractor for him, and it was junk. When we put that video out, we got a lot of feedback about how other people If they got the newer Mahindra, it was junk. But if you got one pre-80, what did I say, 83, 84, you had a solid tractor.
Right.
You know, and then the Coyote's the new kid on the block. You know, so we went off of like Ben Holler's experience and a couple of other people's experience, and they spoke very highly of the Coyote. All right, so our final category is service locations. And to me, this struck me as weird. I really don't, I cannot comprehend why this was not a tighter race. If you're going to be selling these tractors, and these tractors have to have services at 50, 100, whatever down the line, where you're going to be replacing filters, you're going to be replacing hydraulic fluid, and you're going to be doing this different stuff, you can't rely on the fact that the owner has a shop to be able to do it themselves. And then when we talked to the one guy that helped us with the cow, he made a huge mistake and got some air bubble when he was changing out a filter, and it caused a huge headache.
Well, and then like somebody like John Deere, where you have to use their parts, so like you might as well have to have them do the work. So you would expect, at least for me, again, with the money that you're paying for these tractors, you would think that they would put a little bit of money into their service area so that they can do all of these maintenance and all of these repairs that they need to do. And there was only one company that did that, and that was Stack. With Coyote, they blow everybody out of the water. The Mahindra guys were lean-tos, and you know, they barely put any thought and effort into it. The John Deere at Ag Pro was a joke. I mean, you go in there, they took over a bank and they turned the drive-through into their one service bay. They didn't even cover the area to be waiting to go into the service bay. So if you got bad weather, you know, if you don't have a cover or a cab on your tractor, and some of these seats don't repel water, they'll just absorb that. And so, you know, it can sit out there, and I don't know. But Stack blows everybody out of the water with this. Like, it's not even close to being a competition. They had a 3-bay service area. They could pull the tractors in there. They've got, I mean, I love the smell of their shop. It smells like a stinking shop. And they've got every tool that their mechanics are going to need. They've got plenty of, they have a nuts and bolts tray thing in there. They have a parts room that's off the chain. So there's really not, their parts room is bigger than most of the other people's shops that we saw. Service bay. Yeah, that's a good point. And the other thing is that they're so reliable with their service that they not only service Coyote tractors. Yeah, they're servicing everybody else's tractor. So, hands down, the folks over at Stack just like customer service. You know, you other guys, if you're watching this video and like making ugly faces at us right now because of the stuff that we're saying, well, you know what? Step up, because Stack has set up a field trip. Take a field trip over to Stack. Tell them we sent you, and raise your bar. If you don't like what you're hearing today, raise your bar. That's all I got to say about it, because Stack owns y'all in customer service and in their service bay locations and their services. All right, so with all that being said, I know it seems like it was a one-sided thing. But now it's time to reveal. Did they go with Coyote? Or did they lean on the reputation of Kubota? Because, you know, there's no way that I can afford a John Deere. I mean, let's just be real. And we're a little smarter than throwing our money into a Mahindra. Yeah. So it basically came down to the battle of the orange. So, which orange won? All right, so we chose Coyote. I mean, that was kind of after, like, halfway through as we were going through. Everybody's like, they chose Coyote. Y'all know me. There's no way Jason's not going with Jay and Coyote with the way he was
the way he was bragging about the customer service, and you're absolutely right. The way that they treated us over at Steck was the full thing that made our decision. Because at the end of the day, stuff breaks when you're using tractors and side-by-sides and lawn mowers. You're just using farm equipment. Stuff is eventually going to break.
Right.
So it's how they're going to treat me afterwards was what really made my decision. Now, of course, the gas tank helped, and then the stuff that comes standard on the back with the PTO.
Sure.
Really kind of like pushed it over, made it to where it was like a no-brainer.
Right.
You know, I love the folks down there at Steck, the way that they treated us and subsequently have treated us, because being transparent, we've had this tractor and side-by-side since December, right?
Right, the week of Christmas.
Yeah, right before we released the first video. And they have treated us not an ounce differently than from the first day.
First day we walked in.
Well, that's not true. I mean, they've gotten to know us a little bit more, so we're not a potential customer anymore. We're family.
No, we're family.
We're
right.
family.
Every time we come in, they're like, "Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?"
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Kind of thing. When we first got her, as you guys saw in there, she had the bush hog on her.
Right.
And that's because we were waiting on the backhoe to come. Well, now she came back. They picked her up, took her there, put the backhoe on, and then we got like a 45-minute class from Jay on how to make our life easier once you have to take the backhoe and stuff off, because you don't have a lot of room to play with because of the way that it mounts to the frame of the tractor. And I don't think I would have gotten that class anywhere else.
Probably not. Probably not. Especially with them having the area for you to try out, you know, their equipment on their property. That was huge. He was able to just take us over there, show us how to use it, and it was no big deal. So that was really nice to have that opportunity.
Here's the side note, because a lot of people, like, money talks in America. But I want to put this bee in everybody's bonnet. The prices that we listed were for a 45 horsepower.
Right.
When we first started this journey last year, our first stop was John Deere, because Ladessa loves
John Deere.
Like, she threatened to run away if we showed up with anything other than green and gold.
That's right.
John Deere crushed us. The first time that we went in there, we thought we were never going to be able to afford a tractor.
For real. Like, I left there going, I don't think we're going to be able to get one, because there's no way that they can be that much more. So if they're at that price, how are we going to be able to afford a tractor?
How are we going to be able to afford it?
Yeah.
So we sat back, we looked at our budget, we pinched, pulled, scratched, and we said, okay, this is our budget for a tractor. We can't go over this. So if we've got to go down in horsepower, or we have to take this away or take that away, whatever. And then we went to Coyote. Now, I want everybody to understand something here. With the budget that we set, we were able to get a 60 horsepower tractor and the side-by-side, and still be, what did we do the math, $10,000 cheaper than just the tractor at John Deere. So basically, I could have bought 2 of the 60 horsepower tractors for the 145 of John Deere.
Pretty much. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yep.
I would have gotten 2 tractors, and I had to pay a little bit more than that for that one because of taxes and all that other mess. But still, 2 tractors for the price of 1. All right. So since we have kind of did our best to keep this a secret since December,
like 23rd
or something, we're going to run a contest. Because if you've been watching our videos from December 23rd on to today, there have been times where either the side-by-side,
or the tractor,
or somebody saying, we got to get you back on that tractor. Those Easter eggs have been there.
Yes, and we didn't edit them out.
And we didn't edit them out. So here's the contest. You will get a goodie box from us. It will have an assortment of goodies in it, like some.
I think we're gonna try and get some merchandise from Stack, and then maybe throw in a bar of soap, some seeds, something like that.
Something like that. If you can email us the name of the video, the timestamp of where you saw either the side-by-side, the tractor, or somebody mentioned something about the tractor, send it to us in an email. Whoever gets the most correct answers of the Easter eggs will win this box.
Yep, I think it'll be fun.
I think it'll be fun.
Because we had quite a few that I got yelled at for. After I published them.
Too many.
Yep. So, that's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
Good luck. And we will be putting out more videos about what we've used the tractor and the side-by-side for. So definitely be looking for those videos.
And above all, Robin and I want to say from the bottom of our hearts how much we appreciate y'all, because we wouldn't be able to take this milestone step in our homesteading journey if it wouldn't have been for the love and support from all of y'all. So as much as this is our side-by-side and tractor, it's kind of y'all's too, because y'all been supporting us over the years and helping us to be able to work that budget, to be able to afford that. So we love y'all. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead.
God bless.
And have a nice day.